Hey guys, welcome back to Fearox Gaming. Fearox Rex here, and it's been a long while since I've done a video that I show my face. Yeah, I've been getting kind of lazy lately. Plus, I've been helping Frank out with a couple other projects. Plus, I've been helping him doing some capture work with the fucking GTA film he's trying to work on later on. Well, anyway, you saw the title, so we're going to take a look at UFC 5. And I'm not really that excited. Yeah, amongst all the UFC games we played so far, this one is the most graphically enhanced game we've played. But the problem is, it's uh, it's got some problems to say the least. Okay, let's say that EA really fucked up with this one. It's a semi-good game, but it has its flaws. Anyway, I got the controller right here. Got the game all set up. Let's just pop it. Let's play some UFC 5, and you'll see what I'm.
We send it inside the octagon. Bruce Buffer.
Okay, at first glance, the graphics look really good. Scorecard looks good. Yeah. Audio's pretty decent. Turn the music off for obvious reasons, for copyright shit. Dude, change your pits. Seriously. We got our own Schwarzenegger character, and that should help out a little bit.
All right, early round action here featuring the consensus greatest UFC heavyweight of all time, the former champion Stipe Miocic, and it's always interesting to see which version he presents. There was a time when he was competing at 255 pounds. We've seen a much leaner Stipe of late, and he just believes in terms of his speed and his footwork and his boxing.
Yeah, they kind of screw the controls up. You have to do, you have to hold down 2 more buttons and then let go real quick and press the button again. It's called a spinning motion. It kind of fucks the game up a lot here. And honestly, this is something that should be removed for UFC 6 because it's making the game very sluggish. I mean, it may look like I'm actually doing really good here, but the controls are not as good. I mean, with UFC 3, the controls were the best. With 4, they kind of nerfed them a little bit, though. But this one, they nerfed them even more. I mean, it's just like, it's really just... Wow. Yeah, see, I was able to get that done because it's a simple button combination. But, you know what? Just hold on a minute. Let me show you guys real quick, okay? Let me show you.
Okay, the biggest problem so far when it comes on the fighting, if you have a fighter that actually does like a spinning back kick and so, I'll be honest with you guys, doing a spinning back kick in real life is extremely easy. I am not joking about this one. Like, it's extremely easy for me to do it. It's extremely easy for Fearox Rex to do it. Hell, even Todd is able to do one too. And he's not really into kickboxing. No, that's actually a huge surprise on our part. And even Joe could do one when he was doing that shitty kung fu crap. I'm not saying kung fu was shitty. I'm just saying what he was doing was complete shit. Like he was doing a street variation of kung fu, and it was garbage. Anyway, the way how the whole spinning kick thing goes, it goes, you have to hit these 2 buttons right here at the same time, and it's either circle or X. And if it's a much more powerful kick, you have to hold this button down at the same time. And the combinations are really screwy. It's because of the fact they actually added in this new feature called spin moves. Alright? And, well, it just nerfs the game. I mean, how do they... Alright, it's bad enough that UFC 4 actually had this whole idea you couldn't actually adjust the moves. Like, remove one move and actually put a different move in there. But with this game, they nerf it even further. You know, I didn't think it was possible, but they actually did do it. I'm beyond fucking shocked at this point.
Well, now that I said that, how's the rest of the game feel? Well, the grappling is well, basically it's almost on par here with the fourth game, but the submission game, I hate to say it, it's way, way worse. I try my best, but getting a submission here is like 50 to 1. It's literally like a 20 to 1 chance. So I'm not even going to bother showing the submission game, not that much. I'm only going to show some choice clip footage here from like some of our creative fighters here and some real fighters. So, like, yeah, I've been able to lock some opponents down, but still, in the end, it's just...
Oh, could get a finish soon. Looks like a Darce choke.
It's a pain in the ass. Like this right here. The submission game doesn't even last. You saw that, right? I legit tried to keep it down to the submission as much as I can. No, they removed the submission minigame. Why? It makes no freaking sense. And by the way, yes, there is a stoppage. And by the way, yes, there is a doctor stoppage with the game too. If your opponent gets really effed up badly in the game, like say if you keep punching them constantly and the wound keeps opening up, they can actually stop. But unfortunately, I didn't record any footage of it though. But my God, at least this someone looks more realistic.
But this man's just too tough. Some people
albeit ridiculously silly from time to time.
He wants to fight.
You ready to fight? Ready.
All right, round two. Starting to do some real...
Anyway, here's one of the other biggest advantages that this game actually did do. For the backyard section, you can actually fight at night. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually really nice. Like, I really do like that feature. All right. And by the way, if you're trying to figure out, I'm still trying to do the spinning back kick maneuver, or should be wearing street apparel or something. Yeah, here's a big problem the game actually has, and it's something that should have not been part of the game. There's time limits on trying to actually buy clothing and equipment. And at some points they do a loot box thing every once in a while too. Why they decided to put this part of the game? It's EA. They screwed up. Honestly, they shouldn't have actually done this, personally. But, my God. I mean, yeah, the moves look somewhat more realistic here, but there's a few things that do kind of bother me. I mean, where you can't actually, like, the one thing I wish you could really do is, like, edit the move sets. Like, for example, like, within some of the kickboxing move sets, they actually have, like, for some reason, for the right side, or for the back section of kicking, it's always the ducking roundhouse kick. That is like the worst type of kicking in the entire game. Honestly. And you see that, right? That's actually just a little bit of a booster thing too. Now the boosting thing happens automatically, but still, it doesn't really help as much. And you have a limited time range. Like they expect you to play the game 24/7 to unlock all this stuff. I mean, what the fuck were they fucking thinking? Wow, I'm starting to sound like the angry video game nerd here. Yeah, you see that spinning maneuver thing I'm trying to do? That's the result of the spinning buttons. It's really freaking stupid. And yeah, the Kumite is still part of this game, but at least they put a timer in here this time so we can get an idea of how long the round is. But 25 minutes for one fight? Yeah. This is a pro wrestling match. I doubt that's actually going to work. And by the way, I didn't actually go into the settings here. This is actually like the main settings of the game. So this isn't a customized setting or anything. And boom, instant knockout. Otherwise than that, yeah, he's hovering over the rope. Originally it's supposed to be a cage, but yeah, whatever. Ridiculous, but still fun. Okay. All right, that's all the gameplay footage I'm actually going to show exactly. All right. Oh.
You know, the progression of the UFC games, the modern UFC games, it's kind of disappointing in my opinion. Now, I'll be completely honest here. We came out to the original UFC games like this one, UFC Undisputed. Like there was UFC Undisputed, which was in 2009. Great fucking game. I'm not gonna lie. It's basically like Fight Night Round 3, except it's MMA. Great game. UFC 2010, aka Undisputed 2010, or UFC Undisputed 2, had some flaws. It had a lot of flaws, but it was still somewhat playable. It was a pretty decent game. Not great by any means, but it's still playable. It had some good features onto it. UFC Undisputed 3 was the greatest game in the entire was the greatest game out of the Undisputed franchise. And then but before that we had EA's MMA, which actually laid the groundwork for these UFC games right now. And well, it was a really good game. The problem is, it felt like a game that should have been released in 2006/2007, but it was released in 2011. That's EA for fucking up. Let's go over the actual UFC games real quick. Now, UFC 5 is one of the only games we have that's on the console that's on there digitally. We actually bought it on sale at a decent price, but it's starting to become one of our greatest regrets. I mean, it's still good in some aspects, but oh, let's talk about the other games. We have UFC 1, good game, a little buggy, but one of the biggest problems was you can't create any female fighters in the game. But yet there are female fighters in the game. Like there's a picture of Ronda Rousey right here in the back. That's great and all, but you couldn't create your own female fighters. What the hell? That's a big downgrade, but it was still a fun game regardless. UFC 2, actually you were able to create female fighters. That's even better. But there was okay. This one had a big problem. All right, they added in some type of stat feature, and it virtually made the game. It bugged the game out too. And not to mention, this game had a ton of glitches. So they actually experimented with. So they experimented with one. They added more stuff in two, and it kind of bugged the game out. So, all right, and not to mention, people complained about it way too much. All right. However, when UFC 3 was released, they fixed all those problems, and I'm just going to say it. UFC 3 is the best out of this entire franchise so far. All right, with Undisputed 3 being the best UFC game so far on the older platforms, but this one is by far the better game out of all these games right now. But they actually released four. Four was released during the pandemic, and it could have been released at the worst time. All right, not to mention this game was silently released and nobody even knew about it for a while. Like the release date came, opening weekend, nobody knew about it at all. It wasn't until they actually found it on store shelves, on media shelves, and then they're like, oh shit, man, there was a fourth UFC game. What? There were some good things with this. For example, the Kumite and the backyard venue were actually readily available. So that was a huge thing. Plus, they got rid of the whole stat thing that was actually in the other games too. So again, this thing actually had the stat thing too, but it was fixed. They fixed it to the point where your fighter actually had a chance. In UFC 2, your fighter virtually had no chance. But in this game, they had a chance. In this one, they said fuck it and got rid of it. That is so good. But they still fucked this game up badly too by actually making the controls slightly a little bit different, but also getting rid of the ability to swap out moves. Yeah, and 5 we just played has the exact same problems, except they nerfed the moves even more by adding in the whole spinning feature, the whole spin move feature. Okay, it's been a long while since I've actually done some live action segments on these videos. And Fearox Frank says I gotta do it as much as I can from this point on. You know what else? I'm probably gonna have to go back to playing the original Resident Evil games anyway. Now, before I can end everything, I am aware of the fact that UFC 6 is actually coming out this year. What the release window is, it's somewhere between May and August, between May and August, I think, or May or July. Either way, it's coming out around the summertime. But we're not going to buy the game at all until somebody actually gets the game and reviews it online, and then we'll take a look at it. And then we'll think about buying it. Other than that, we really can't say much about the game itself. So UFC 5, in my opinion, passable, but with the microtransactions they have in the game, they need to get rid of that. They should never have put that in the game. Bad move. So, amongst all the UFC games here so far, which one, in my personal opinion, is the best? Well, it's these two. Okay, yeah, this one has some flaws, and this one's superior. But as a whole, they're both good. Okay, UFC 5, personal opinion, it's passable. If you want to rent the game, go ahead and rent it. Okay, it's your call. At least you're going to rent the game and not buy it. Be smart, people. After all, here on the Fearox channel, we're actually all smart gamers. So be smart about the whole thing. Anyway, that's all for now. And tune in next time. And yes, Fearox Rex will have a Chuck Norris movie review all set and done. And my next video, I'm going back to Raccoon City and playing the original Resident Evil games. Anyway, until then, you all take care now. And tune in. And hold on a second. Yo, Joe! When are we gonna get your next video out? Never mind. Y'all take care now.